Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Thursday episode of Daily Betslip. I am reporting to you live from an undisclosed location. I'm joined by Donnavan Smoot. We're going to talk some Major League Baseball tonight because we are winding down the dog days of the summer. For the most part, that's still the only thing we got going on. But we also have NFL preseason. We're going to talk that. We're going to give out some NFL alternate win totals. If you can't tell, we're running out of NFL futures to talk about. So now we're not even doing just normal win totals. We're doing alternate win totals for the NFL season this year. And we got community picks, as always. If you're watching this on Twitter, head over to YouTube so you can live comment. And we need your help a little bit today as well because, as you're going to see in the caption appearing below me, usually we have bad beat of the night. We couldn't find one. Was there a bad beat last night? I didn't suffer one. Donnavan didn't suffer one. We couldn't find one anywhere on the internet. So if you suffered a bad beat last night, let us know. Maybe it's just a bad job by us as hosts not being able to find one, but I couldn't find one. I don't think we might have been bad beat free last night. Who knows?
Maybe. It might. I feel like part of it, like if somebody comes up, then it might just be that we're unprepared as hosts. But like, listen, maybe everybody won last night. Maybe it's one of those rare days, you know?
Maybe. Yesterday, the theme of the show was Lord. Came out that Peter Dewey is a Lord hater. Donnavan, you were telling me that you've been listening to Bad Bunny. List your top three Bad Bunny songs. Go.
Okay. So there's one called Solia. There's another one that I'm listening to right now called Neverita. And then the song of the summer is Después de la Playa, which means after the beach. And it is fire. It's absolutely fire. Go.
We're turning this into also a music show with sports betting, even though I'm not a music guy. Yesterday,
that's my lane.
The featured artist yesterday was Lord. Today's featured artist, Bad Bunny. How about that?
Let's do it.
So I had to waste time since we didn't have a bad beat of the night. So Bad Bunny beat of the night. How about that? Let's sponsor that portion of the show by Bad Bunny. It's the Bunny bad beat of the night.
Let's go. Love the crossover.
All right, let's get into some community picks, and then we'll give out our best bets for tonight. Once again, if you're watching this on Twitter, head over to YouTube so you can live comment. And if you tweet at me a pick earlier today and we don't get to it, just comment it in the chat and we'll get to it that way. But once again, no producer Joanne. She is taking a well-deserved vacation, so you're not going to be able to see the tweets, but you'll see the text at least show up below. Because here we go. I'll give you an example. We're going to start here right there from @A_Lou91. Stampeders +4. I am actually on this bet as well. I locked it in when I first woke up this morning at about 7 a.m. Eastern. It was at Stampeders +6.5. It has now moved all the way down to either +5 or +4. I do like the pick, though. I think the Blue Bombers are overrated. And by the way, Donnavan, this is CFL, in case you didn't know. A little Canadian football. Oh, yeah. You're becoming a CFL fan.
Yeah. I haven't watched, but I knew.
Yeah, I think the Blue Bombers are a little bit overrated. Check out the show I did this morning if you want to see my full breakdown for the game. But I am with you at @A_Lou91. We are in this one together. Calgary Stampeders +4 against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. And a little CFL action tonight. Let's move on to the next one from @J_Lobs. Astros over 4.5 team total. Astros are taking on the Twins. It is Chris Archer getting the start for the Twins. So I like this pick. I'm going a little bit of a different route. I'll get to it when I get to my MLB best bets of the night. Donnavan, I believe you have a pick for this game as well. Do you have any general thoughts about Astros team total over?
Yeah, so I have a pick on the away from the team total, but I like this pick a lot because one of my other best bets for today that you can go and check out on BetSided, our best bets column of the day, is Chris Archer over 2.5 earned runs, -115 over at DraftKings. And listen, Archer, his ERA is slightly higher when he's on the road. He's given up 5 more home runs in opposing ballparks. Despite whenever, as opposed to whenever he's at home, even though that he's pitched in 7 fewer innings on the road than at home. So he's letting the ball go. He doesn't have that much control. So I think that the Astros are going to be able to beat up on Archer a little bit. And so I like the team total in this one.
There you go. So that comes in from @J_Lops. Astros team total over 4.5. Now, what I need to do, because we don't have the can't actually show the tweet. Is the next two ones I believe were longer than what I could put in. I think they reached my character limit, so I'm going to bring up the tweet here. But one of them is from @the Sox fans is Toronto minus 0.5, first 5 minus 125. Gosman 4 earned runs in 26 innings pitched versus Red Sox this year, and Crawford starting to regress as a Sox starter. Yes, this is another play. Like, I went full game run line for today, especially because the Red Sox bullpen is dead last in bullpen ERA dating back to July 1st. So usually I do bullpen if I want to take, or usually I do first 5 if I want to take the bullpen out of the equation. I think the Red Sox bullpen is crappy enough that it actually helps if you just go full game. But hopefully both of us can cash this game. Hopefully both of us can cash, you with the first 5 and with myself with full game run line. Donnavan, any thoughts on Red Sox Blue Jays tonight?
No, not really. Not really.
All right, go Jays, go. I like it.
Go.
I'm in the 6, as it's called as of right now. So I will. I dare not.
You're in Toronto?
I am in Toronto. Yes.
Nice.
I dare not bet against the Blue Jays while I am here in the 6, as they call it. And then finally, one more community pick here from my Green on the Greens co-host, Cody Williams at the Sizzle 20. And I know this one was definitely longer than what I could put in the little caption area there. So let me just bring it up here. Cody Williams says A's plus 1.5, plus 105. Oakland isn't good, but Caprillion has improved as the season's gone on with a 3.04 ERA in his last 5 starts. Taillon has gone the other way with a 4.25 ERA in his last 5 starts and 19 earned runs in his last 5 road starts. Plus, the Yankees are bums. Could not agree with you more, Cody. I'm a little disappointed in you, though, that you took just the run line. Why not get a little aggressive and take their full game money line? Will I play their full game money line? Who knows? Stay tuned to find out in a few minutes. Donnavan, any thoughts about the dusty old Yankees?
Listen, I'm actually kind of backing them today. My daily dinger that again you can find over at BetSided, all of our best home run picks for the day. I picked Giancarlo Stanton to return to the lineup in big fashion for him to hit a home run. I think Stanton's gonna make a his presence known in this game. So he might be able to get one, and that 1.5 run line might not be there. So I'm kind of backing the Yankees, the bums as you call them.
All right, well, we'll see. I might have more thoughts on that later. I'm backing for my daily dinger today, Kyle Schwarber. Whoever the Phillies are playing against. So the Phillies against the Reds against Justin Dunn, who has not been good so far this season. But yeah, go check out our daily dinger piece. I think we've hit 4 daily dingers in 3 days so far this week.
Yes,
so
sir.
The fellas are on fire with our daily dinger picks so far. Let's get into our best bets of the night. You have one for NFL preseason, so why don't I start with Major League Baseball? We'll alternate, and then we'll finish on your pick for the, 49ers Texans, I think is the other.
Yes, sir.
Is the other one. And then we do got game of the night is the Packers Chiefs. That is how desperate we are for football, as we are making a preseason game, the game of the night. So my first pick, going to go Rockies first 5 team total under 0.5 at plus 115. Of course, the big story of the day is Jacob deGrom and the Mets are the biggest favorites in Major League Baseball all season. I think biggest favorites, is it dating back to 2019, I think.
It sounds right.
Yes, right. Just massive favorites. Now, I will say, full disclosure, I did sprinkle a little bit on Rockies' money line. I tweeted it out just so I can feel something tonight at like plus 320 or something. But my actual best bet, if I'm going to handicap it properly, is I think Jacob deGrom might pitch 5 scoreless innings. Rockies second last in the majors in OPS on the road against right-handed pitchers this season. And Jacob deGrom has a 2.31 ERA through his first 4 starts, but a 0.64 FIP, field independent pitching. So as long as his defense doesn't screw him over today, I think he can shut this Rockies team down through the first 5 innings. So plus 115. If you want to bet on Jacob deGrom, if you want to fade the Rockies, this is a little tricky way you can do it while still getting plus money and not having to lay massive juice.
Okay. My next pick actually comes from that game as well. So I would
get into it.
So I'll just go straight into it. I agree with your handicap. I think that Jacob deGrom is going to have a good game, but I'm taking the under on his strikeouts at 9.5. Listen, deGrom is fantastic. We all know just how good he is. I just think it's a lot to ask for anybody to get to double-digit strikeouts, even if it's Jacob deGrom. Listen, the Rockies. They're not a great hitting team on the road, but they don't strike out a lot. Colorado has the second fewest strikeouts on the season when playing away from home. They're in New York this season. DeGrom is 2-2 against this line this season, and he's coming off a start where he had 9 strikeouts. He wasn't able to get to 10. So even if he is dominant, I just think that 10 strikeouts is a really, really hard line. And I think if you take the over, you're chasing a little bit. So I'll take the under here, even though that I agree with your handicap.
Yeah, so there you go. Taking the Rockies the Rockies. Maybe they'll get shut out, but under 9.5 strikeouts, it is a pretty high total for sure. But it is Jacob deGrom, so we'll see. I certainly don't hate that pick whatsoever. And yeah, I think some people might just see Jacob deGrom and might just automatically take the over on his strikeouts. So not always the best strategy to do that. Sometimes you want to take the under on these high strikeout totals for sure. Next game I'm looking at, and I think both of our picks are for this next game as well. I'm looking at Twins Astros going to go over 8.5 in this game. It's a battle of righties tonight between Chris Archer and Luis Garcia. Both teams are in the top 10 in OPS against right-handed pitchers this season. Astros are 8th at 740. Twins are 9th at 736. And neither bullpen has been great in August either. Twins are 16th in bullpen ERA this month at 3.93. Astros are 21st at 4.42. So let's bank on some runs getting scored tonight between the Twins and the Astros. I will take the over 8.5. And Donnavan, once again, your second pick is in the same game, so just dive right into it.
Yeah, so I'm taking Luis Garcia over 2.5 earned runs allowed. He's at home, but I just don't have a lot of faith in him because Garcia has allowed at least 3 earned runs in his last 5 starts. And listen, even though that the Twins have been kind of a mess, just over like the last week or so, I still think that Garcia is going to be able to just give them a couple runs, right? The Astros, they let him stay on the mound. He's pitched at least 5 innings in each of his last 11 starts. I think Garcia is just what the Twins need to have a decent day at the plate. So I think Garcia gets beat up a little bit. I think Archer gets beat up a little bit, and we might see some runs in this one.
All right, so we can both cash on that. On some runs getting scored tonight. I'm going to switch over to my final MLB bet of the day, and I alluded to it with Cody Williams' pick earlier when he was on Athletics plus 1.5. Give me the Athletics on the money line, plus 180 tonight. The Yankees win a couple games, then all of a sudden people think the Yankees are back. I am not so quick to believe that. They are still 24th in the majors in OPS this month. As Cody Williams pointed out in the community picks portion, Jameson Taillon has been brutal. He's allowed at least 3 earned runs in 4 straight starts. He has been bad. The Yankees offense has been bad. So I'm going to go ahead and take a shot on the Athletics at home. Don't forget the Yankees got to go coast to coast here over to the West Coast to play in Oakland. So Yankees do not deserve to be this big of favorites against anyone. I don't care if it's the crappy Athletics. I'll take them plus 180, and I will laugh in the face of Yankees fans when this bet cashes for me tonight.
Okay, I see it. I don't hate it. Right?
It sounds like you hate it.
No, I disagree, but I don't hate it. I think that those are 2 very different things. For my last pick, I'm not going to go with an underdog in this one. I'm going to go with the 49ers money line in this preseason game against the Texans, minus 160. And it's really, listen, the Niners have looked really, really good in preseason. They beat the Packers by a full touchdown. They beat the Vikings by 10 points. Kyle Shanahan in week 3 of the preseason, at least against the spread, he's 3-1. And so it's setting up for the Niners to be really, really explosive. Even though that the spread is only 2.5, the reason why I'm not taking either side is because the Texans, surprisingly, have also played fairly well. They scored 17 points in their preseason opener at home. Then they went on the road, scored 24 points last week, right? Dameon Pierce has been great for them in preseason play. He's expected to play tonight. So I think that this game is going to be a little closer than then 2.5, and asking the Niners to win by 3 points. I just don't feel like sweating out a spread bet tonight. I just think that the Niners are in a better position to win, and so I'll take them on the money line, kind of ease things out, and I'll save my spread preseason bet for a little bit later on in the show. But yeah, I think the Niners are pretty good tonight.
All right, Donnavan says he's not going to lay the points, just going to take the money line. Some people might say that's a coward move to not lay the points. Not me, but maybe some people would say that. So Donovan just going to go with the money line.
That's okay.
49ers tonight.
If it hits, it hits.
If it hits, you're right. If it's a winner, it's a winner. And if the Niners only win by 1 or 2 points, then who's laughing then, right?
Exactly.
So let's stay in the National Football League. As I mentioned at the top of the show, we're going to talk about alternate team win totals. We are desperate for the season to get back, Donnavan. We can't find any more futures to talk about in the NFL. We've done everything. I still am trying to be able to power rank kickers and punters. I still get that request denied. So instead, we're going to do alternate win totals.
Let's go.
So why don't you start us off? Let's start with the unders, and then we'll go to the over. So and by the way, you're not going to talk with this team on the show, but I think it was yesterday you gave out the Ravens alternate team total, win total over. Myself and Peter had a little debate about that on the show yesterday, but you'll have to go watch that to see what my opinion on that is. But why don't we start with an alternate under for you for this season?
Yeah, and yesterday I put out a 3 alternate win totals that you have to take before the 2022 season starts, and one of them is the Bears under 5.5.
I hope Ben Heisler, our good friend and coworker, is not watching.
I hope he knows. I hope he knows this though, because the Bears might be the worst team in the NFL this season. Again, the alternate is under 5.5. The original was 6.5. And that was juiced to -190. And if you put that at under 5.5, I think that Chicago is going to be terrible. They might have the worst receiving core in the entire league. They have Darnell Mooney running their receiving core. That's not good. You have an offensive line that still needs a lot of work. And you have a young quarterback who's going to be running for his life and needs actual protection to develop. And they're not going to give it to him defensively. They traded away Khalil Mack this offseason. He's in Los Angeles now. Last year, the Bears were 24th in total DVOA, which is like a nerd stat to kind of like, it's supposed to make everything equal and kind of put everything in a vacuum. And so, but the Bears were 24th in total DVOA and 26th in offensive DVOA. You can argue that they got worse in their offensive personnel and they got worse defensively. So I expect both of those numbers to either stay towards the bottom of the league where they are, or maybe even drop. I think that the NFC North also is going to be a little bit more competitive than what a lot of people think. The Packers are still there. The Vikings have talent. I'm all in on the Lions as well. Hard Knocks has me falling in love with the Lions. I've been saying it for a couple months now. So I think that the Lions are going to be better than the Bears. And here we go, under 5.5. And I just think Chicago's in for a long, long season.
Under 5.5 wins, got to say I agree with this one. Having your young quarterback having arguably the worst offensive line in the NFL in front of him and the worst receiving core, not exactly set up to succeed is Justin Fields.
Exactly.
The team I'm going to go for an under here, alternate win total, I'm going to go with the Miami Dolphins. They're the one team that when I was looking through the win totals for all the different teams this NFL season, the one that stood out to me the most is the most wild is the Miami Dolphins. This is the team that, in my favorite stat, net yards per play last season, they were tied with my Atlanta Falcons at -0.47. But the Falcons win total is 5 this season, and the Dolphins normal one is I think 9. So I'm going to take the under 8 wins. I don't think this team has what it takes to compete. I'm not going to go on a rant about how Tua is not a good quarterback because he's not even really my main concern. My main concern about their offense is their run game. 31st in the NFL last season in yards per carry at 3.5. I know they got Chase Edmonds and Raheem Mostert this offseason, but even in the preseason, they're averaging less than that, like 2.7 yards per carry. So Tua is not a guy like Tua will be fine if he can get a running game to kind of support him, but he doesn't. Like I said, one of the worst run games in the NFL. Their defense was average at best last season. I am not in on the Dolphins whatsoever. I was shocked to see how high their win total is. I'll take the alternate under 8 wins at plus 185.
Okay. Yeah, I don't hate this because I kind of feel the same way about the Dolphins. I understand both sides of the coin with Miami. Like if you're really high on Miami, I can see that. But also if you don't think that they're going to be great, I can also see that very, very well. So I think the offensive potential with Waddle and Tyreek Hill on opposite sides of the field is going to be absolutely insane. But this is a brand new situation. Mike McDaniel's coming in. Like you said, you don't really know how the run offense is going to look. So I like this though.
I don't even do you even know Mike McDaniel's going to be? No one knew who Mike McDaniel was until he made he went viral at some point last year. Then all of a sudden he was he made like a goofy comment at a press conference, and then all of a sudden he's like the biggest head coaching candidate. I don't know if he's going to be any good.
Yeah, we'll see. He has the Shanahan pedigree, so we kind of just give him the pass. He's good until proven bad right now. So we'll see how that goes.
All right, let's switch to alternate overs. And Donnavan, I'm sure that your alternate over is not biased whatsoever. So why don't you give me your alternate win total right now?
I will say this. So this actually is one of I do believe in it, but it's one of my top 3 because like you said, you and Peter argued about the Ravens pick yesterday. Ben and I talked about the Ravens being worst to first on Monday. And so I was trying to lay off the Ravens talk. I wasn't trying to make it 3 days in a row. So I went with this line, Eagles over 10.5 plus 175. I do think that the Eagles are going to be really good this year. However, the only reason though why I picked the Eagles, because I think anybody, if you had picked the Eagles or the Cowboys in the NFC East at over 10.5, I would be okay with it. I think it's going to take 11 wins to get the NFC East. And the Cowboys line is at 11, and I don't think that they can get to 12. And so this is just a better line and a better price. So if you see the Cowboys at 10.5, go ahead and take that, and I wouldn't be upset. But the Eagles are there. They have one of the best rosters in the league. Jalen Hurts is the leader of that rushing offense. You just got AJ Brown, who's gonna be able to give the Eagles the best wide receiver that they've had since Alshon Jeffrey. And you have him on one side, Devontae Smith on the other, Dallas Goedert up the middle. It's a very talented team. We just have to see if Jalen Hurts is going to take that step forward. But I think that the NFC East is there to be had, and if Hurts can take that step, then the Eagles are going to have a really, really good season. So to get to 11, where I think 11-6, 10-7 maybe is kind of like the range, maybe even 12-5. That's kind of the range where the NFC
let's
East,
not get crazy.
I mean, listen, I don't know, 16-1, who knows?
Yeah.
But
17-0 is not off the table.
I guess not. So we'll see just how good the Eagles can be. But I think 11 wins isn't crazy to think about for them.
No, I actually do like the Eagles. I agree with both your picks here. If they can beef up their pass rush a little bit, and hopefully Jordan Davis will give that the rookie that they drafted out of Georgia. If he can give them a little bit of a pass rush, they got a linebacker too. I forget.
Nakobe Dean in the 3rd round.
They picked up a guy free agency though. Is who I was thinking. I can't remember who it is now. I'm going to see if I can bring it up. But if they can just, because they were I think last or second last in sack percentage last year. If they can just get a little bit of a pass rush, because everywhere else in their defense is so good. If they can just get a little bit of a pass rush and really complete that defense, I think they can have a top 3, top 5 defensive unit. And then if they do that, plus Jalen Hurts takes a step forward, they can be a contender.
Yeah, are you talking about Hassan Reddick?
Hassan Reddick, yes.
There you go.
Yes, we got it at the same time. I think that was a big pickup for them as well this offseason. The team I'm going with my over, and I kind of talked about it yesterday when we talked about coach of the year, because it was kind of the same pick, and a lot of the points are kind of the same, to be honest. But the Cincinnati Bengals, this is a team who was the AFC champions last year. They won the AFC North, and all of a sudden they're underrated. They have the 6th best odds to win the AFC this year. And all they did was strengthen the areas they are weak in the offseason. Most notably, the offensive line is much better, because they were second last in sacked percentage last year. Joe Burrow was getting sacked almost 10% of the time he would drop back. And then they went out and signed Alex Kappa from the Buccaneers, Ted Karras from the Patriots, and Lael Collins from the Cowboys. So they have completely revamped their offensive line. They then addressed one of their other weaknesses, which was their secondary through the draft. And this is a team that ranked first in NFL in yards per pass attempt last season. I think Joe Burrow might be an MVP candidate. I think Zach Taylor might be a Coach of the Year candidate. I think the Bengals can win the number one seed in the AFC. And if they do, they could hit over 11 wins at plus 225.
I disagree.
Come on!
I know. We were so close. We
almost went 4 for 4.
I know. But one, I already told you, I think that the Ravens are going to win the AFC North and that they're going to be really good. Secondly, the Bengals offense was very, very explosive last year. I don't know how sustainable that is to constantly have an explosive offense. Joe Burrow led the league in pass yards per attempt. He's throwing the ball down the field. We all know the meme of F it, Jamar's down there somewhere. And I think that there's going to be a little regression in terms of how big play they are. They might end up with the same amount of wins, and so on paper you're like, oh, we're they're as good as what they are. But I think that the division, especially having Lamar Jackson back and the Ravens, if they stay healthy, is going to be a little bit tougher. So asking 12 wins of the Bengals is a lot, especially when you look at who else is in the AFC. Basically every other division, the East and the West are both great divisions. The South sucks, but the East and the West are great. I think 12 is a bit much because I don't think that Zach Taylor is a great coach either. I don't think he's a great coach. They also had a lot of injury luck. Nobody really got hurt for them last year. That is kind of hard to reproduce. I'm obviously not wishing injuries, but stuff happens. So I don't know. I'm not in love with 11 wins.
All right. To be fair, Zach Taylor had a rough 2 first seasons with the team. So, but I mean, he led them to the Super Bowl.
Jamar did that. Jamar and Joe Burrow did that. I don't think it was because of Zach Taylor.
All right. So there you go. Before we get into game of the night here, I'm just going to bring up, in case you missed the start of the show, these are our best bets that we gave out at the top of the show. Rockies first 5 team total under 0.5. Twins Astros over 8.5. Athletics plus 180 are my 3 best bets. Donnavan, you're on Jacob deGrom under 9.5 strikeouts. Luis Garcia over 2.5 earned runs allowed. And the San Francisco 49ers money line against the Houston Texans in the second preseason game. But the first preseason game tonight, and probably the one that is more intriguing if a preseason game can be intriguing, is the Green Bay Packers against the Chiefs from Kansas City. It is a preseason game. I don't know how much to add to this, to be honest. They haven't really said if Patrick Mahomes is going to play. Andy Reid has kind of said he might not. I don't know, Donnavan, give me your pick. I don't have anything else to add. It's a preseason game. Thank God this is the last weekend of preseason football, so we can just stop talking about preseason.
I feel that. I'm taking the Packers -2 though in this one.
All right.
I'm taking the Packers -2, and I will give Jordan Love credit because I don't know if I've been on record saying it, but I've thought that Jordan Love has sucked for the last 2 years, and he's played well. He's played well in preseason, so I'm gonna give him some love there. And also, the Packers have Romeo Doubs, who's just the darling of every bettor right now for Offensive Rookie of the Year. He's looking like he's gonna be a star. Like he might even come in and steal the number 1 receiver spot from Alan Lazard. Romeo Doubs he's doing his thing, right? It's him and Christian Watson out there. So I think that once Love gets in the game, which is probably going to be the majority of it, him and Dobbs, their connection has been really good. So I think that the Packers in the second half of the game are going to have a little bit more playmaking on the field. So I'll take them by a field goal, and I'll actually take them on the spread. I will take them on the spread. I won't be a coward in this game, and we will sweat it out. We will sweat it out in preseason football.
Respect. And pretty good breakdown because I don't have near as much to say about my pick, but I'm going to go the opposite. I'm going to go with the Chiefs. I'll take the 2 points. I don't really know what else to say. Matt LaFleur, I think, is 3-6 in the preseason against the spread as a head coach. Other than that, I hope Patrick Mahomes plays. If he does, that'll certainly help this bet. They've scored a touchdown every single drive that Patrick Mahomes has been on the field. So I hope Andy Reid gives him at least one go at it tonight, so we can get a little touchdown out of Patrick Mahomes. But other than that, I mean, who knows? Who knows how much these guys are going to play? Who knows how much they're going to try to win? Andy Reid is right around exactly 50% against the spread in his career in the preseason. Like I said, Matt LaFleur is still a young head coach. He's 3-6. I'll take the 2 points.
Okay, that's fair. Like,
please, let preseason end. I hate this.
I think anything goes in preseason. I mean, it means a little something. Just a little something. It's fun, kind of.
Well,
for like 5 minutes. For like 5 minutes. Preseason is like, oh, like you're like, yes, like football's almost here. And then I think the biggest thing for preseason is you're just hoping that no star gets hurt because you're trying to draft him a week later in fantasy football.
Right. And people who have their fantasy football drafts before preseason is over, those people are lunatics and deserve to have their players hurt.
I just had one on Sunday.
Oh, come on, man.
I wasn't commissioner though. I didn't set it.
All right. And I will say we did put up a poll earlier today for the community pick in the game the night between the Packers and Chiefs. And I'm on the community side.
Whack. This is back-to-back. This is back-to-back shows where the community has gone against me. But in fairness, they got the last one, so we'll see. We'll see if they
and
go
the community last night too. They're on the over 7.5 between the Twins and Astros, and it hit.
Community's on a heater. Okay.
That could have been our bad beat of the night. Could have been the under. By the way, I'm just looking it up. 2 runs scored in the top of the ninth. I missed that. 2 meaningless runs scored in the top of the ninth. So I think we just wrapped up the show with our officially Bad Bunny bad beat of the night. The Bad Bunny beat of the night last night was if you faded the community last night, or if you're Peter Dewey, because I think he was on the under, because I think he was opposite of the community last night. Bad beat for you. 2 meaningless runs scored by the Minnesota Twins in the top of the ninth. To ruin the under and to cash over for the community last night. So now the community has won at least 2 picks in a row, and tonight they're on the Chiefs. Community on a little hot streak, no big deal.
Sounds good to me. Good job, community. Good job.
And I'm so glad that we wrapped up our little show with the Bad Bunny bad beat of the night.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. Do you have any closing comments before we wrap things up? I will say we do not have a show tomorrow. I promise once the football season gets going, we will have Friday shows. We do not have them this week either. So we'll be back next Monday, 4 p.m. Eastern. I don't know who will be on the show, but 2 people will, and it will not be me.
Yeah.
So
who is going to be on? Let's figure out who's
going
to be on.
You want to check? I'll filibuster.
I'll check. We can keep the people. We'll keep them, engaged. But on Monday, it's going to be Ben and Peter at the early time, 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Central. Be ready for that. The U.S. Open begins. College football will have started. NFL preseason is going to be over by then. So we'll have a lot of stuff to look forward to on Monday with Ben and Peter.
And next week, I will be power ranking the top 5 punchers and kickers in the NFL.
I think that's more.
But thank you to. Yep. And thank you to Bad Bunny for unofficially sponsoring this episode. This episode was brought to you by Bad Bunny.
Facts. Go stream Bad Bunny, everybody.
All right. Thank you all for watching. Best of luck with your bets tonight. Gamble or bless. We'll talk to you next week. See you later. And I'll filibuster as I bring up the closing graphic that I always forget to do. All right. Goodbye.